So, Kisco VR, right? That's how you say your name?
It's Cisco, actually. It's kinda like that
Cisco.
network company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, well, let's start off with how did you get into like dancing in VR chat? Did you have IRL influence or?
Well, it is more influenced towards, my ethnicity is Hispanic, right? So, Mexican parties are actually pretty huge,
Hmm,
especially in Mexico, right? So, I think it's more of growing up with it, what made me wanna dance in VR chat as well.
yeah. So you have IRL influence from your Mexican parties to dance in VR chat.
Mhm, I do.
Yeah. Uh, were you like when you started in VR chat? Were you taught in taught to dance in VR chat, or did you just roll with your IRL experience?
I kinda just roll with it. I didn't really have anyone really teaching me in VR chat, um,
Hmm.
like, any moves or anything like that. It's just more of bringing in what I know, real life, kind of into VR.
Yeah, I think even that like if you know how to dance IRL, I think that already brings out a bit more. I would say professionalism, but a bit of experience, a bit of what to expect. And when you're doing it,
Right.
if you're learning it from VR chat, it's a totally different experience in at least what I think of. So, how long have you been dancing in VR chat?
In VR chat, I've been doing it for the past roughly 3 years now,
Hmm, that's a
so I do
pretty
have some time under it.
yeah, that's a pretty big chunk of a time actually. And I assume you've gotten pretty good at it.
I mean, personally, I say I'm not that good, not
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
not from where I wanna be, but I have received comments that they like the way I dance.
yeah. I like that's one thing that I always have heard from people that people who make content or dance or draw or some other things, they always have like, oh, I don't feel that I'm too good, but other people tell me that I'm good, which yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, what kind of dancer are you in VR chat? Are you well, you're not obviously not a half body dancer, but stage dancer, lap dancer, pole dancer.
Well, funny thing is I actually started as a half body dancer before I
Ooh,
got my legs.
how was
So I
that?
did that. I ran with that for about a couple months. It's hard. So I give a lot of props to whoever could half body dance because it's
Hmm,
not as easy as it looks.
I can imagine.
I roll with it for a couple months.
I like I thinking like because I've used half body. Obviously, it's so weird to me, even to this day, that people who dance in half body, they have this. They use a lot of, for example, the advanced settings like space drag. They use that a lot, and I find that really like creative. They use it in really creative ways.
Right.
Now, do you have an opinion on different types of dancers, like pole dancers, lap dancers, stage dancers?
Uh, I wouldn't say I have an opinion. Actually, I love every type of dance, and I personally kind of like enjoy watching people dance because
Hmm.
kind of brings out the emotion of what people like doing. And I think it's actually a pretty good way of relieving stress and kind of getting rid of that unwanted energy that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I've in my VRChat time of a year, I've seen pole dancers, lap dancers, stage dancers, and I gotta say, all of them, yeah, I respect it. I respect the fact that you're doing that, and that's great. Uh, there's like, have you heard like people being sexual towards you about your dancing, like in VR chat?
I have gone a few times, but it also depends on I would assume depending on your avatar that you're technically using.
Hmm.
I personally use a female avatar, for example, when I dance. Not because I wanna not really picking
Yeah,
and choosing
yeah.
on which one I prefer doing, but it's just we could all be honest here, female avatars have a lot more movement as far as a male avatar dancing,
Hmm. And
and I'm sure not only I agree with it, I'm sure you probably do too.
yeah, I agree with it 100%, and I agree with like one of my biggest things that I've always said is female avatars get a way more love than male avatars, in at least in my experience, and
Correct.
a lot of other people agree with that. Uh, do you see a future in in dancing in VR chat? Let's say money wise or work wise. Like, would you see yourself making
So
money off of that?
I have been asked this question before as far as like what's my
Mm,
understanding of that part. So I know not only I do it, but I know a lot other dancers have like for example their cash apps on their
mm,
bios. I personally don't do it for the money or anything like that. We do a lot of us do appreciate people wanting to tip or
yeah,
anything like that. I personally don't do it for money gain or because I want to get paid or anything like that. I just do it for fun. And
mm,
dancing is, part of my culture and it's just something I love doing, so I just keep doing it.
yeah. That's I just it's a really like my experience with pole dancers or lap dancers. It's always been I've always thought about like, do you just do this for fun, or are you expecting money, or are you getting paid? And some of them told me, oh yeah, they get paid by the event like manager, the
Mhm.
person who holds the event, and they've told me like, oh, it ranges the amount. Uh, what would you say is your biggest tip that you've gotten, if you want to say, obviously?
The biggest tip I really don't mind. So the biggest tip was this guy. I felt really bad. I ended up actually refunding it because he sent me
Mm.
$500 to
Oh.
Cash App for a dance I gave on stage when I was in FPT Heaven,
Mm.
and I felt so bad, even receiving that amount. So I fully refunded that amount because that's I appreciate the amount and
Yeah.
I appreciate you wanting to tip me that, but I just felt that's way too much. But 500, I would say, is the max I've received
Yeah,
before.
that's even I would say that's way too much. If I was a dancer, I would say, "No, homie, no, don't give me 500, brother. Like, I could take like 20s or 10s. Calm down."
I know dude was giving me his paycheck.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, I'm paying my rent off of this." Uh, how? Okay, did have you like taught people dancing? Like, if a person would come up to you and be like, "Hey, I like your dancing. I would like you to teach me how to dance." Would you want to teach them? Or would you have an
I'll be more
interest?
than happy to teach whoever wants to learn.
Yeah. I
I have taught probably like a handful of people that see me dance. They either want to learn how to move the hips or sometimes they see me dancing Spanish music and they're like, "Oh, can you teach me that? Just like that small move." And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure."
yeah.
So I just start showing them the moves and stuff.
Yeah, it's man, I love the fact that people in full body, it's like most of them have respect on the fact that if you ask them like, "Hey, I'm half body, can you do this for me, or can you try this?" And then they usually try it because obviously you have
Hmm.
full body and other people don't. But yeah, I find that I respect that you're teaching other ones, that you're not gatekeeping it.
Right. Because I mean, if it's something that I could teach others, then why not do it?
Yeah. Now, as a closing little thing, what would you say to like people who want to get into VR dancing, or are a bit shy to begin or don't know where to start? What would be your, let's say, 5 tips, if you can come up with five, but 5 tips or encouraging words for these people?
Encouraging words. Well, for one, practice makes perfect. You're not gonna get it
Mm,
off the bat, so just keep practicing. Um, Choreography. If you could make a choreography for any song, stick to it.
mm,
Meet up with hosts or uh, specific members of like different clubs, and they could probably show you the ropes of the inside and outs of a dance club.
yeah,
Um, uh, Fortunately for Quest, they can't really go here, but for PC, if you go to FPT Heaven, you could actually see a lot of people dancing there. You could kind of grab a few things from that dancing that they're doing and kind of make it into your own style.
yeah. Well, thank you for coming here and I hope good luck on your dancing, and I hope you teach people to dance.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem.